Hi gang, welcome back to the Unraised Latina Ever. Tonight's topic is going to be about the governor's election. I'm really kind of ticked off because I didn't get to see it in person, but I'm glad because it was overshadowed by another hate crime. We're seeing a lot of this in the media. They're sensationalizing it 24/7, so we're seeing more of it because every time they sensationalize something, you see more of it. Now, if they just didn't put it out there, we wouldn't see as much. And their big agenda is gun control. Well, they use different types of guns, so I see where this is going. Oh, guess what? We're not going to be able to carry a pocket knife anymore because that is going to be a weapon. Oh, people are going to be using other things besides pocket knives, maybe a butcher knife. Maybe we'll ban those too. But anyway, long story short, what is spurring on the hate is the extreme communism and monopoly over the media waves, circuits, and sensationalizing negative stuff. If you just don't report it, it will be not out there. I was working with some people to save Social Security. I figured we all paid into it back in the day, you know, when Mr. Bush was trying to privatize it. And I'm thinking the government has taken all this money out to save something. I want to save it. So I met with some senators and we had dates and everything, and the first time out there I was paired up with a guy named Ed Yoon, and he was hired from John Kerry to go out and meet with our senators. And so anyway, we get out there to interview this guy, and he was there but no media. And I said, well, where's the media? He says, there was a fire. And I said, well, the fire is more important than saving Social Security. He said, yes, apparently it is. So I drove 8 hours to get to him. So I basically turned around, went home, and we rearranged it for another day. So we went out for this PR to meet this guy again, and the same thing happened. Another 8 hours, another stood up by the media. This time a truck jackknifed on the highway. And I said, this is more important than saving Social Security. And he said, yes. And I said, you know, I'll be damned. and people don't understand what it's really like behind the scenes. And Donald Trump is absolutely 100% right. It is very fake. And I went on a radio show recently, and before we went out on the air, I said, you know, I'd like to talk about, you know, immigration and my work as an activist. And, you know, I thought the radio segment was just going to be about immigration, you know, because I said that's a topic I'm familiar with. I don't want to stray from that topic because really, I mean, really, for me, that is the most important thing right now is securing our border. So he said, okay, well, we can do that, you know. And so I get out there, and the first thing he does is he just starts bashing other Republicans. And I really wasn't prepared for this, but this I should have known. This I should have known. And you know, like Donald Trump, you know, you know, he's a very rich guy, very successful guy. I didn't expect this guy to stalk me, take some of my posts and take some words out of my mouth and mix them up and spread lies about me. And it was just fake news, completely, in his opinion. So anyway, as he spread lies about our governor, you know, and basically calling Mr. Rick Scott a crook, and also he had a few choice words about Marco Rubio. Now, Marco Rubio is not my favorite person in the whole world, but all I said about him was I'm not happy with some of the things he does. But you know what? Honestly, you know, if we get a Republican elected, it's better than the alternative. Oregon is full of Democrats, and the state is going to hell in a handbasket. So, you know what? I will take a imperfect Republican over none at all. So, after coming from a state where their complete socialism took over, you know, I'm happy to have a Republican, even if they're not perfect, you know. And I supported the likes of Jeb Bush, and I supported the likes of people that were not very good Republicans. You know, Jeb did the best he could while he was in office. You know, now he doesn't resonate well with people because of his stance on immigration, and I think that has a lot to do with, you know, he has this need to help the globe, and I still don't understand that need so much. Maybe people can explain it a little bit better, how our money going overseas is going to help us. So anyway, if you can convince me otherwise, maybe, you know, maybe I will think about it a little bit. But anyway, the issue that we're facing right now is we are being invaded by 50 million people, and not, you know, 30 million or whatever, but 50, or then some more, because they're bringing their kids, their family, and everything else. So they have that whole chain migration coming, and Mr. Trump is not able to just turn them away. So, you know, no other time in history has it been this bad. And he's being demonized. And, you know, everybody that supports him is being demonized. And really, I really don't see it changing. I think it's going to get a lot worse. And you have the left, you know, chopping off heads and of the president, and having people make threats like they're going to blow up the Capitol like Madonna did, and that seems to be the norm, and it seems to be okay. Madonna's career is still thriving. She's not like Roseanne having her shows canceled or being blackballed. So it's really unfair what happened to Roseanne and what is happening to anybody that supports Donald Trump. And I just won't have it, and I'm not going to do any more free shows. I'm putting myself out there anymore for this, for nothing. And so this is my last video. I'm sorry, guys. I'm probably just going to disappear out of sight, because you know what? That's what happens to people that are Puerto Rican and conservative. We don't exist, really, because you know what? We don't support the open borders and the Latinos that want to come here and make a better life, that we're bigots. That is such a bunch of bullshit, by the way. And it's not that I'm quitting, I just don't see the reason or the purpose behind it all, because you know what? We have such a dumbass force of like disgusting Fox News media that also gets right behind the Pied Piper of liberals doing this kind of bashing, and they bash their own people, and and call it fair and imbalanced, and at the same time they're just as raunchy and rotten as the left, and they basically you know, will like throw and rig some of the elections and get their Buffy in or whatever, these like little frat boy clubs of a people, and you know, like Martha, you know, and we know that she favored Adam Putnam, you know, and her mouth would tense up every time she talked with Ron DeSantis, and I was just like so happy when Brett Baier was able to ask the question, because I'm like, oh, thank God, you know. But you know what? I saw that for what it was. I really did, and I really thought that DeSantis came out stronger in that debate. But you know what? Guess what? The next day, who did I see on Fox News? A whole lot of Adam Putnam. And you know, Big Sugar is behind him, Jeb Bush is behind him, and you know what? I quit. I quit. This is it. I'm done. Last video, you know, they won. Have a great evening. God bless.